Good day, everybody. And once again, we are back together. Right, so this time we are looking at question 4, which is on trig graphs. So please, if you haven't subscribed, make sure you're part of the family. Right, and let's get into question 4. We've already answered questions 1 to 3 of this exemplar question paper for grade 11. So let's get into question 4. So they say, given f of x, we've got 2 cos of x and g of x is sine of x plus 30. Right, now they want us to draw the graph of f and g on the same set of axes on the attached answer sheet between 0 and 360. Right, so there we've got our answer sheet there. What you'd normally do, ladies and gents, all right, let me just move it a little bit. So what you would do is go to your calculator. Okay, most of you are using Casio, right? So what you do is you go to mode, you choose table, and my first f of x is 2 the cos of x. So you'll say alpha and you press x over there. And g of x is sine of x. So that's sine of alpha x plus 30. Right. And by the way, so already by having this shift over here, it will now determine the steps that we actually choose, right? So starting from 0 till 360, but the step that we'll choose is 30, okay? So those are your 2 graphs. So meaning for the graph of f of x at 0, my graph is going to be 2. Okay, there it is. At 30, it's going to be square root of 3. At 60, my graph is going to be 1. Okay, I'm going to plot those values that I'm absolutely certain about. At 90, it is 0. At 120, the graph is negative 1. Okay, at 150, it is negative 3. 180, that's negative 2. Okay, and again, this is going to be at 210. Okay, in fact, 180, that was negative 2. Sorry, I needed to take it down, further down. So that's negative 2. Okay, and we take it to 210 is negative 3. Okay, and 240 is negative 1. 270, that will be 0. Okay, and let me just bring the calculator to this side. And then at 330, at 300, the graph is 1 again. Okay, square root of 3. And finally, at 360, the graph is equal to 2. Right, so there's our graph for f of x. Okay, I'm going to just try and join those points there. There we go. So that's what our graph looks like. Okay, and let me see. I think we might have, it looks very skew around 270 and 300 there. So 300 is equal to 1. 330 square root 3. Okay, all right. Now I think it's okay. It just looked a bit skew. All right. Now for the next graph, we know that for g of x at 0, the graph is 1 over 2. Okay, I'm going to try and use a different color for that. And ladies and gents, try to be as meticulous as possible here. So that's going to be 1 over 2. So there's my first point. At 30 degrees, I've got root 3 over 2. Okay. That's 0.866. So I won't really worry too much about it. At 30, that is. Okay, we've got 60. The graph is equal to 1. So there it is. At 90, root 3 over 2. Okay, I'm going to put it there. Okay, we've got 1 over 2 and 0. Okay, at 150, the graph is 0. That's negative a half at 180. And we've got negative root 3 over 2, negative 1 at 240. And negative root 3 over 2 and negative a half. Okay, at 300. And then we are almost done. And we've got, so we are at 300 now. 330 is 0. And 360 is a half. All right. So there is our graph over there. Oops, I just made an error. Just shifted it a bit. Okay, so what does our graph look like? Okay, and there it is. All right. So those are the two graphs that we've got. Okay, so now what we need to do is just answer the questions in relation to the graph. So they say to us, write down the amplitude of f. Now remember that the coefficient of my trig ratio there is the amplitude, right? So that's going to be our amplitude. So we know that our amplitude, or you can say A, is equal to 2. Right, now they say that write down the period of G. Right, notice in this case, whenever we look at period, that's going to be 360 divided by the frequency. But the frequency here is 1. The coefficient of our x term, or of our angles, in this case is 1. So that's going to be 360 divided by 1. So our period is actually 360, meaning we're able to draw a full wave within a 360 degree period. Okay, now they say use the graph to determine the values of x for which the graph of G is strictly increasing, right? So where is the graph of G increasing? So we are looking for when it is going up, right? Now remember, the graph of G is the red graph, okay? I should have labeled them. That's G of x, and the blue one is f of x. Right, so where's the graph of G increasing? So it's increasing between 0 and 60, but it's also increasing between 240 as well as 360. Right, so those are the two values where the graph is increasing. So we'll say x is an element of, okay, that's 0 to, we said 0 to 60, where the graph is going up, right? But also, we said this is from 240 to 360. Okay, right? So the graph is increasing over there. Right, now the next one, they say for which values of x is f of x less than g of x? They say between 0 and 270, right? Now note, we are looking for when f, rather the blue graph, is below the red graph. Where's the blue graph? Below the red graph. So you can see that's between 60 and 240. Right, so this is the portion over here. Okay, that's between 60 and 240. And with those values excluded. So x would be an element of 60 to 240. Both values excluded because they are equal at those points. So in that case, we are going to just consider only when it is below and not when it is equal to. All right, and that is essentially how the cookie crumbles, ladies and gents. I hope that you understood that. And that is it in terms of our trig graph. We'll see each other next time. Sharp, sharp.